As a kid, I was a troublemaker. I didn't do my homework, lied to my parents, and just in general, I was kind of a poopy little teenager. I think a lot of this stemmed from fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged by my family, my peers, and fear of just putting in the hard work to do anything. During this tumultuous time in my youth, two of the constants for me were video games and skateboarding. Two hobbies that were liberating for a young street urchin such as myself. I could pick up Halo 3 and pwn noobs all day long, put it down whenever I wanted. I could similarly just skateboard around with my friends and enjoy the outdoors without any set of rules or restrictions about how we spent our time skating. I mean, overall, my childhood was pretty amazing. But still, hard work was something I was always intimidated by, even when it came to those two hobbies. I might be able to do a certain trick comfortably on my skateboard, but when it came to expanding that, doing it off a ledge or down a set of stairs, unless I was with my closest friends, I was too cool for that. I didn't want to fail. And more so, I didn't want to have to put in the work to learn something that was so far out of my comfort zone. The same thing goes for video games. My older brother grinded away like it was his full-time job on RuneScape or Vanilla WoW, content with making baby steps towards some large goal, an undefined goal, an abstract form of playing and enjoying video games that I didn't yet understand. I wanted to play games I could start and complete, games I understood, games I could just crush or use as an arena to kill other players and boost my already inflated opinion of myself. I just wanted to have fun across the board in life. But between a little video game known as Dark Souls and my progression in skating, I would have my humanity restored and victory achieved. So let's start first with Dark Souls. In the early 2010s, I had kind of conquered my teen angst and headed off to college. My allergic reaction to hard work still plagued me though, and it was definitely compounded by being in the landscape of misguided youth that is a state university.
I don't really feel like it.
But it was right around this time that Dark Souls 1 came out. Being a college student in that era, all I had to my name was an Xbox 360, a huge pack of Gatorade, and a Costco-sized box of Reese's peanut butter cups. Everything necessary to take on a new video game. So I went and picked up that thing at a play and trade in the area and booted it up. Life was never the same. Now, there are a ton of videos on this website about how Dark Souls helped people through depression or a breakup or something like that, and I don't want to get it misconstrued here. I was a very healthy, happy, social, and extroverted guy. My struggle was entirely personal. But that being said, I would definitely say with confidence that Dark Souls fundamentally changed how I view video games and the idea of failure. Dark Souls expects you to fail. It expects you to die and die a lot. And that was pretty new to me. I mean, I had grown up playing all sorts of video games, and many of them were pretty damn hard, but a game intentionally trying to destroy my confidence was kind of novel. At times, I remember sitting back and just laughing at how hard of a time I was having. Enemies tucked behind corners, insta-kill bosses, Blighttown's entire existence, but it wasn't all smiles, because at times I got so frustrated or so annoyed, I would just put the game down for weeks on end, not intending to return, giving up like I always did when faced with a serious challenge. This is especially true early on. I was stuck at the gargoyle boss fight for like an entire semester. I don't know how long. I had deemed the game unfair, blaming Dark Souls instead of myself for the failures. But shortly after, my stubborn ass returned, and I had decided to farm some souls outside of the boss area to level up and upgrade my weapons as much as possible. I slowly was turning into the Hulk, a soul-swollen beast ready to eat any foe whole, when I accidentally aggroed Andre the blacksmith. I killed his ass, Googled it, and realized that I had essentially irreversibly ruined my playthrough. God damn it. But a week later, I was back, starting all over again. No matter how much I struggled and how many times I messed up, I kept coming back. Something about the game world, the art, the mysterious lore, it made me feel a serious fear of missing out. There was something special here, I knew it, but holy smokes, I was gonna actually have to work hard to experience the whole thing. For the first time in my life, I was willingly not having fun for the sake of progress in a video game. But every time I would get those little steps of progress, I realized, wait a second, I have been having fun. The struggle was becoming not only fun, but thoroughly addicting. The thrill, the rush of adrenaline when I finally defeated the gargoyles was like nothing else. I wanted to rip off my clothes and climb to the top of my dorm building to scream into the night. It was a visceral feeling, one that my ancient ancestors probably felt but a fraction of when they killed wild game and knew they could feed their families for the winter. Now, although I had a habit of giving up on difficult things growing up, as I just said, I've always been stubborn. I decided I wanted to try to beat each boss alone. No summons, not even the NPC summons. And this made each challenge exceedingly and exponentially personal, and all the more satisfying when finally toppled. My experience with the game the first time through, maybe just like you watching, calloused my gaming brain and is filled with stories of overcoming the various bosses and stinkiest of areas. But I think the key is that I learned to love that struggle, and I looked forward to the next challenge. I came to desire the hardship, and when I encountered an easier boss, I felt a pang of disappointment. It was hard for me to play any other video games for a while after Dark Souls. The way it demands your full attention and brain power is just different from other difficult games I had played that were either just old and busted or just time-consuming. So what about skateboarding? Well, skateboarding is a hobby built on failure. Every single trick you learn, you might fall like 200 times before you even get remotely close to landing it. Along those 200 falls, you can get pretty nicked up, scrapes, bruises, broken bones, sprains, and so on. Immediate feedback that you in fact did not achieve your goal. You failed. And it also can conjure a ton of frustration and even anger for some people. Trying to learn a certain trick or what have you for literally months to no avail can really make a fella pretty damn angry. Though in my youth, it served as the perfect hobby. I probably got a lot of aggression out doing it, and it kept me mostly out of trouble. But I never fully embraced the grind. No, not the grind. The grind. I naturally could do certain tricks, and others less so, like many people. While friends of mine pushed themselves to conquer their frontiers of ability and consistently get better, my growth in skating had kind of stunted around age 17. And I was capable for my age, but I definitely always kicked myself for not just going for it more. Well, at the very same time as my Dark Souls experience, I was skateboarding for the first time without the comfort of my childhood friends. Skating had always been a huge part of my life, but I had always had that bubble of the homies. We had a safe space that was wherever we all were together. We could try any trick or goof around without any internal or external judgment. It was bliss, and it kept everything fun. But suddenly, being alone in a new town, I found myself skating most often by myself. I would even go full anime protagonist mode and skate at night on campus. That way I didn't have to dodge people or judgment, and I could have full reign over all the ledges and stairs, etc. This became my hyperbolic time chamber. Skateboarding with no one around me, I decided it would be the perfect opportunity to try to learn some of my long neglected tricks that I always wanted to have down. And man, did I get my ass whooped. Trying to take all my established tricks down a flight of stairs or attempting completely new ones like the hard flip, while my shins were getting blacker and bluer night after night. But somewhere in the deep recesses of my little chimpanzee brain, I realized that there was a connection here. My experience with this new Dark Souls game was fueling my desire to go for it more with skateboarding. In Dark Souls, when you first attempt a boss, you are very, very likely to fail. It's almost like those first few attempts are the given trial period by which you're just trying to see what the fight is going to feel like, identify the boss's moves, patterns, and so on. The same exact thing can be said for skating. You are never going into a trick expecting to have it on lock right here. You're really just sussing out what the trick feels like, how comfortably you can get the board to move the way you want. But little by little, you chip away. You learn what to do and what to avoid. And before you know it, you have done something that a week prior seemed completely impossible. There's also this sort of assembling tactics that is essential in both. A kind of landmark trick for anyone who skates is the tray flip, or 360 flip. To an outsider, it looks like a flippy-dippy-doo thing, but it's actually deceptively simple. It's two tricks, the 360 shove it and the kick flip just kind of taped together. And over time, anyone, even a little baby, can learn one, then the other, then tackle the 360 flip. Take that logic to Dark Souls and something like the Ornstein and Smo boss fight. At first glance, it seems like an absolute shit show, two massive chunkers just creating madness. But if you learn one's moves, then the other, then combine them, literally anyone can master the fight and make it look like a cakewalk. Now earlier on I said that initially I blamed Dark Souls, not myself. And this is a huge key here as well. As I came to terms with the game, I realized, wait a second, this is kind of like skateboarding. I can't get mad at my board. I'm the one doing something wrong. The board is an uncaring, shin-hunting piece of wood. It's my fault for messing things up. Applying that approach to Dark Souls and any difficult video game can help you overcome any kind of challenge, even if it's things that are straight up broken or unfair legitimately, like Battletoads or something. As I finished Dark Souls and continued skating, this sounds corny as hell, but I legitimately felt like I had had a personal breakthrough. I wasn't afraid to put in the struggle for the end goal of fulfillment. I had really been able to shed a lot of my bad habits about giving up on things or being intimidated. I sought out more difficult games and activities as a result, and found a ton more joy in skateboarding thereafter. But this video is not meant to suggest that Dark Souls is the only hard video game out there that can teach you to put in the work and get good, nor is skateboarding the only hobby that coincides with that message. This was simply my experience. Anyway guys, this was kind of a rambly video, but I'm heading out of town for a few weeks and I'll be back toward the end of August, so thanks everyone so much for all the support on the channel, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, peace!